Hello everyone, my name is Siddharth and this is a tutorial about connecting to the Cassandra database using a Java application. Before we go ahead and execute the program, we would need to import some jar files, and these are the jar files that are required. I've already imported them. You need Cassandra driver core, Cassandra driver DSE, mapping, and Guava, log4j, matrix core, Nettiol, and SLF4j. You could download them online and could save to your workspace and then import them over here using add external jars. So since I've already done it, I'm gonna go ahead and explain about the code. This is a code basically with three important statements that we are gonna see. It's insert, update, and delete, and we're gonna insert this data into a key space in the Cassandra database. So before we go into inserting into the key space, here is the description of the key space that I've already created. It's called demo and I'm going to describe it now. Okay, here is the demo key space. It has a simple strategy replication class. Since we have only one cluster right now, in case we have multiple clusters, we can change this class to network topology. And here we can see the replication factor is 3, and the key space contains one table called the users. It contains columns such as last name, age, city, email, and first name, with last name being the primary key. So we'll have a look at the table, users table right now. Okay. So here is the users table. It has 3 rows with all these values in there. So now we're gonna modify and insert some rows into this database from a Java application. Going ahead, this is the main program that is there, and you need to import the following library files: data stack, driver core, cluster, result set, rows, and sessions. And this is our main function over here, and I have defined 2 instances for cluster and session. The cluster instance is for connecting with our Cassandra cluster, and the session instance is to manage the connection to the cluster. And here this line of code actually helps in connecting to the cluster. We are using the cluster.builder here, and we need to provide a contact point, and this contact point is the local cluster IP address, which can be found over here. It's 127.0.0.1, and the session instance again is to manage the connection to the demo key space. And here is an insert statement that insert a row into the users table with Jones, 35, Austin, and the mail ID and Bob. Okay, and the results object here is nothing but the code required to show this output in the console. So we're going to iterate each row, and then we are going to get the first name and age from the Cassandra database and display it over in the console. So I'm going to run this code now. Okay, the code has been executed and it says that the column Bob 35 has been added, but since we just requested the first name and age to be shown in the console, it is showing those 2 values. We're gonna check in the SQL whether the row has been added or not. Here you can see that one more row, Jones, with the last name as Jones, has been added over here. So that's how you connect to it. And now I'm going to run an update and delete statements. So I'm going to comment out the insert, even the delete. Okay, we are running the modify statement where we are going to change the age of an user whose last name is Jones to 36, and as you can see in the console, it is displaying again the first name and age and the updated age. Before it was 35 and now it's 36. We can have a look at the SQL SH as well, and you see that the age has been updated over here. Now we're gonna see a delete statement where it's going to delete a user whose last name is Jones. Then I'm gonna comment it out and I'm running it once more. Here you see that the row has been deleted, and since here in the results object we are getting all the information, that is each and every column in the users table, and we are iterating the whole table, we get all the values that are present in the table. We can go into users table again and check it out. You see that the row has been deleted. So these are the basic queries that we have processed, and there is one more example that I would like to show, which actually does the same functionality, but it is a more generalized version of this code, and we need to import some additional libraries over here to support the statements. And this again contains a main function, and there are cluster and session instances over here, and we are using the same cluster builder to connect to our cluster, and this is a session instance. And here you see there is a slight modification over here. We have used a retry policy. Retry policy is just basically a failover mechanism. In case of a write or read timeout or a failure, node failure that occurs, it will retry with connecting to the node. And another modification would be the load balancing policy and token aware policy that we're going to use. Load balancing policy is nothing but whenever a client has to read or write from the database, the load balancing takes care of which node it has needs to send to the which node it needs to send the request. And if the node that the request is sent doesn't contain the data or the replica of it, we need some extra communications. So this is inefficient. So in order to take care of that, we have a token aware policy which actually transfers the read write request directly to a node which contains the data, that is ownership, or at least contains the replica of the data. This makes the read write command even more efficient. And we have used the prepare statement here. The prepare statement is just like a syntax where which needs to be passed only one time, so we can avoid using multiple insert statements if you want to need those. And it is like we can put the statement into a bound statement and you can directly give the values. Here you can see that again we are giving values such as Jones, 35, Austin, and instead of the whole insert statement, we just have to bind the bound statement with these values, which would take over this question marks over here, and then we can insert into the table. And here instead of using a query statement as in the last example, we have session.execute over here. We are using a more generalized approach. We are using a query builder command, and this is nothing but an interface which allows you to quickly modify your queries that you have. You can just go over here and change all the values and your query will be updated, and you can process your query much faster instead of changing the queries every now and again. And these codes actually perform the same functionality that we had seen in the previous example, that is an insert, delete, and update. And so as we have already seen the results, I'm not gonna run those now. Here is a statement that actually closes the connection to the cluster. So once after all the read write functions that are required are done, we need to close the connection to the cluster, and that's it. Thank you for listening.